Good morning and welcome to CupFul. I hope you all are great. I'm sitting here I'm sitting here looking at all this magnificence that God has created. If I can be transparent, I was going through some mental challenging things, and if you're of any age, I would say a particular age, but this day and time, if you're of any age and can understand what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying. And it came out of nowhere, seemingly so. And it's like all of a sudden, I felt I had to make decisions. All of a sudden, it seemed like I had so much to do. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like I hadn't reached the goals that I had planned for myself. And it became overwhelming. And what I do know about me is I can, and I'm just talking about me, that I can push myself in my mind harder than the days are going. So it's like if things weren't happening in a time frame, and I just have a moment I think about it, it becomes overwhelming. And what I realize I do is if stuff isn't going a certain way for me, I will tend to run from some things. I noticed that back in my 20s, and I thought I had gotten away from it, but sometimes God have to show you yourself. You're like, no, so you thought you was ready, you ain't even ready yet. Hush, grandson. My grandson was talking. But, so it's like I felt like I wasn't gaining any traction. And so what I did was, with God's blessing that He abundantly blessed me with, all of a sudden it wasn't good enough. And me, I was ready to push. In myself, I felt I was ready to push past that point. And I had grown past that point. And it's like nothing else was happening. But then I had to realize, I was listening to Pastor Jamal Bryant, and he said God doesn't work in time, God works in seasons. You know how you know something, but when you're going through something, you're not thinking about what you know. You're just thinking about what it is. So God had to show me myself. The problem is never God. The problem is us. The problem was me. Me and my thought process and my taking my eye off the ball. Yeah, and so obviously I got caught up in my self-doubt and in my own head. Then I forgot about, just to be honest, I was acting like the God I served wasn't gonna do it. So I thank God He has afforded me the opportunity to come back to myself. You know the feeling? You're in a room full of people, but you're still by yourself. That's how I felt. And someone told me that's a sign of a depression. Listen, this mind, my God, if we, me, and probably you too, if we don't keep our minds stayed on God and His promises, things, situations can eat us up. And I know people say you can't look at someone's situation and determine what they should feel and what they should do. And because I remember when I was married, he'd be like, girl, you got a husband, you should be this and you should be that. What you see in your title has nothing to do with what's going on in somebody's life. If somebody's breaking, it's not the next person's breaking. And you know, people say, girl, you got one child, you should be this, you should be that. And I used to push myself like, God, I got one child. I ain't got no real problems. I ain't got no problems. And so here's the thing. That's when I would start pushing stuff under, because I'm like, okay, I don't have any real reasons to complain, so I'm not going to say anything. Stop that. I'm going to tell y'all now. Hush, grandson. I'm going to tell y'all now. Just because you feel like you don't have as much to complain about as the next person, I get it. But you still talk to somebody about that. So what that stuff does, it builds up. And then it's at some point that it will come out. And sometimes it'll come out in anger. Sometimes you can hold it in so much that it will begin to act up within your body. Yeah. That's why they say stress is a silent killer. So I'm telling you this to say that. No, I'm telling you that to say this. Mental health is important. Your mental health is important. And also, how can you speak to someone else and try to teach and reach someone else when you haven't been through anything yourself? So, for that I say, don't try to be so strong that you're about to reach your breaking point and no one knows it. Yeah. Yeah. No one is God but God. And I want to stay on here so you can see this sunrise, because to you it's just the beach. I know we've all been to the beach many times, but this is so much more to me. And my daughter brought me out here, and it has been awesome. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. I am thankful first to God. I am blessed to have her. I am blessed to have family that loves me, that understands me. My mom called me and she said I've been on her mind. And here's another thing. When you're in ministry, God has given everyone a gift. And when you're in ministry, God will allow tests to come to establish our faith, to give us a prayer life. Because if we didn't go through things, we wouldn't pray as hard as we pray. We wouldn't go as hard as we go. Excuse me. I say that to say, you're going to make it. You're going to be good. I feel so refreshed. A break is necessary. A break is needed. Even if you feel like, well, I don't really be doing that, I'm going to be okay. A break is needed. If someone says, girl, come on, dude, let's go to such. It ain't got to be nothing wild. It ain't got to be wild up this. When I tell you, we just been chilling. I went to the lazy river, and I was actually lazy. I laid down. I didn't think about anything. I purposed in my mind to just be at peace. Because I get ready to show y'all what makes me happy. Because the God that controls the winds and the waves. He controls the winds and the waves. This little small fleshly stuff that we go through, that just we allow to bombard us, is nothing. Who work to a God who works in seasons and not in time. The sun is coming up. Watch this. Grandson, this right here, Lord have mercy. Amazing. Do you hear me? Y'all. This is amazing. Grandson, I'm talking. I'm gonna put the camera on you in a minute. This is the God we serve. That causes the sun to shine. Causes the sun to rise from an unknown location. This is God. Ah, my shot. Woo! This is God. And besides Him, there is none of them. Nobody. Wow. Sit down, Arlo. Sit down. You all right? Thank you. Ah, and look at the birds. And the sun is risen. Listen. So I was sitting in the dark. Now the sun is shining. You may be listening to me. You might be sitting in the dark, but the sun is going to shine. I've been there. Many of us, we all have been there. We're of a certain age. We all have been there. The sun is going to shine. Hello. Hello. Don't be shy now. Say good morning. Not him on top. We got a bigger dog cage coming. Listen, okay, so I'm going to get off here. If I could, I'm gonna have to express my heart in a song. Because if I could express my heart at this moment, I'm verbal. I can't even get the words for what this thing does for me. Because I believe when I retire, I'm gonna retire to the beach, and to have the birds just sit on the water in the midst of the waves. They just sit there. The waves come and it bounces them up, and they just sit there. Why? Because they're conditioned. They ride the waves. We have sit down. Sit down. Sit. Yeah. We condition ourselves to ride the waves. Condition ourselves to ride the waves. And knowing we get enough momentum, it'll be time to fly. Because God doesn't work in time. God works in seasons. Listen. Know that I love you, but God loves you more. Do something nice for someone else. I promise it'll come back to you. I'm out. Till next time. It's CupFul.